What's up everybody, it's Roman Gaming here. So it's been a couple of days now since the E3 2015 press conferences took place, and I had a great time streaming it all. All of you are watching it and seem to have a really good time. I thought it would be a cool idea to make a top 5 list of my, my top 5 games at E3. And by this, don't get me wrong, I don't mean the games I'm most looking forward to or the games that maybe, looked the best to me. No, I simply by this mean the top 5 games that like blew me away the most or had me most entertained. The actual presentations that I was most surprised by. So that's basically the whole ascension of the list here. So I have some honorable mentions like Fallout 4, Star Wars Battlefront, Rise of the Tomb Raider. All of these are great games that I'm surely going to get and I'm really looking forward to at the same time. They just didn't make it in simply because there were 5 games that had me a little more like entertained and yeah, surprised in the end when watching those the gameplay or the trailer of those games. So let's get into the list, right? At number 5, and this is probably going to be the most controversial out of them all, but I put Unravel from the EA press conference. And the reason I'm putting this in is once again not because it's the best game out there, but I saw this guy come up on stage in the beginning of the EA press conference. He was super nervous, his hands were shaking all the time. I felt really bad for him while he was trying to tell the concept of his game. So I thought because he's so nervous it probably means that the game itself isn't really that great. And I saw this little what did they call it, like this little puppet out of rope or a certain material or whatever, and I thought, yeah, this cannot end up to be something really good, but it turned out that it was like a super great and fun looking game to me. It was a 2D platform in this like amazing realistic style, where the ascension of the game is pretty much that you're walking through this whole level with that certain red character, and he loses sort of like his rope throughout the entire thing, ultimately ending up to be smaller and smaller, right? And I don't know, I just found it an awesome concept. I love 2D platformers. They really made a comeback for me with games like Mario on the Wii U and Rayman Legends that I played recently on the PS4. I love those games. I cannot wait to play Unravel. This was the game that simply probably surprised me the most because I went into that presentation thinking, wow, this game is going to be an absolute big disappointment. And then 10 minutes later, when I had seen the gameplay, I was like, wow, I totally did not see this coming. I'm actually looking forward to this game quite a bit now. So at number 4, also maybe a bit controversial, but I put Uncharted 4: Thieves End there. And once again, I want to just make it clear, it does not mean that this is not the game I'm most looking forward to, because I still am. Out of all the games that we've seen, I'm personally looking forward to most to Uncharted 4. That being said, the demo itself was impressive, but maybe not as impressive as I myself had hoped. Like, I thought they would go a little bit more all out in terms of the Uncharted press conference that we've seen, right? I think, to be honest, this was the worst one that I've seen out of like Uncharted 2, 3 and 4. Because in 3 they had the ship, in 2 they had the crashing building, and here it was a nice, cool vehicle level that, was really awesome, but just simply a little less impressive than the previous things that we saw. And that doesn't mean that the story cannot end up to be way better, or that in the end it will have much more of an emotional impact on me, and therefore I am still hoping and thinking that Uncharted 4 might as well be the best game in the series. It was simply this E3 demo that I do have to say maybe wasn't as good as I personally hoped, but hey, I'm still like super looking forward to this game. I just want to make that very clear to you. I hope you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. I'm actually also hoping to see sort of like the other half of the demo, which we'll surely be getting maybe at some point in like a week or so. Let's hope, fingers crossed. So then at number 3, this is the game that we all knew was going to be announced, but at the same time was very impressive, and that is Horizon Zero Dawn from Guerrilla Games. Of course, the Dutch developer that, because of its origin, I'm always looking forward to their games. I'm a pretty big fan of Kills, and at least I have been for the past couple of years with 3 and Shadowfall. Those were the games that I actually bought myself, and Horizon just looks awesome. I mean, I love the actual setting of the game. Primitive sort of characters in this world where these giant, mechanical robots, dinosaurs, are inhabiting the world, and you have to kind of like, kill them or just survive in that world. It looks absolutely mind-blowing to me. This is probably the new IP that I'm looking forward to the most right now. And yeah, I absolutely cannot wait for Horizon. Like, I think that's going to be one of the most impressive PS4 exclusives once it comes out. So I think it's not really a surprising pick here. This game blew me away when I first saw it at the Sony press conference. So then my number 2, also from the Sony press conference, and this was the game that they showed before Horizon, and was actually the first game they showed at the Sony press conference, and that was of course The Last Guardian. Now, I made the prediction that we would see finally The Last Guardian appear at this, specific show, And I have to say, I first started watching E3 in 2009, and that was the same year The Last Guardian got announced. So you gotta kind of like realize, for me, it really went full circle this time around. The first time I watched E3 was when The Last Guardian was revealed, and now we finally saw it reintroduced. So it just was an awesome moment to me, and I absolutely love the style of the game. I love the way it looks. I love the characters, you know, this emotional sort of bond between the little boy and the giant bird dog creature, whatever the hell it is, right? And yeah, it just looks awesome to me. I cannot wait for the game. It's a cool sort of 3D platformer puzzle game where you're constantly trying to get through areas with the help of that companion while also doing some platforming and stuff. Like, yeah, it's totally a game that I myself think I'm really going to enjoy. The Last Guardian, my number 2 pick for this show. Hands down, the demo might have not been super impressive, but still, I know what the game is about and I already cannot wait to play it. Then finally we go to my number 1 game. It may not be a surprise to most of you, but when I saw how amazing Mirror's Edge Catalyst looked, I was like, wow, my hype level has been intensified by 10 more times or whatever, and they also revealed that yes, the game is going open world. We kind of already knew it. There's missions everywhere that you can accept, all sorts of things to do. The graphical style of the game seems to be a little different. Instead of like the aesthetical, like pure colors, red, blue, you know, yellow, white, those sorts of things, they now seem to go for a little bit more of a realistic and glassy look maybe, which yeah, does make it seem more realistic. At the same time, it's maybe graphically even a little more impressive. I don't know really how to feel about that. I don't know where they're gonna go with the story exactly, and they still haven't confirmed that there's actually going to be multiplayer races. That's the one thing I would personally really like to see. From what I've heard so far, people who have played the game, they say you can purely do time trials pretty much on the fly in the world against ghosts again, which would seem a little bit of a disappointment to me. I would really want to see those, you know, online races and stuff. That would make it just, you know, go from a 95 to a 100 out of 100, you know, like something that I absolutely cannot wait for. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward so much to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and I thought it looked even more impressive than I thought it would look. And yeah, you know, Mirror's Edge was a game that just blew me away when I played it on the PlayStation 3 for the first time, and now finally we're getting the sequel I've been wanting. Or maybe it's not a sequel, it's a reboot, whatever. It's a new game in a series that I have been hoping for in like 7 years already, and it's finally coming and it's looking better than ever. I absolutely cannot wait for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And then yeah, this was my top 5 out of the most impressive games to me at E3 2015. Of course, you know, I want to know from you, which games did surprise you, which games are you looking forward to the most? So let me know then in the comments your top 5, and then for now I'd like to thank you a lot for watching, and hope to see you again next time.